Hi, everybody. DocTalk. Here we are, October. Winter weather has arrived. Planning ahead. October, two really important events in October. One, very importantly, this month is dedicated to breast cancer prevention. Breast cancer, very important because it's more prevalent in women in the fire service than in the general population. But number two, it seems the incident in the general population is increasing. For women and for men, very honestly, there's an incidence of breast cancer in men as well. You're checking for lumps. The most important person to check for lumps is you. And it's very important to do the monthly checks at the appropriate time interval and to check for things that are different versus your normal appearance of your breast and your nipple, any discharge, any dimpling of the skin, and obviously any lumps and bumps. Those are really, really important evaluations that have to be done by women themselves. And then at a regular interval to get some form of imaging done. And that can be in the form of x-rays, ultrasounds, and other new imaging techniques that evaluate women. And there's different recommendations based on your history, based on the type of breast tissue that you have. And some of you, in talking with your OBGYNs, will find that there's particular ways that they can evaluate for breast cancer that's most important to you. The second importance of October, for a long time, October has been Fire Prevention Month. And actually, this week is Fire Prevention Week. So let's talk about a couple things. In our history, we had lots higher risk of fire, particularly in the winter months. And as you begin to crank up your heating systems, which were oftentimes across this country and on this continent in October and November, it was really important to check the furnace, check your flue ducts, check your chimney, and other things. In the modern day here, we oftentimes are using the same appliance during hot weather and cold weather. It's still important to have it checked, and in many areas of the country, twice a year checks of the entire functioning of the system all the way through the ducts is done on a regular basis. Here in Florida, that's what we do, twice a year checks. In other places, it's a once a year check. And in some of you who have very temperate climates, you typically don't get them checked at all. You just work them until they're broke. Nonetheless, fire prevention is about all causes of fire. One of the most important places in your house is in the kitchen, and kitchen safety, meaning any of our heating appliances in the kitchen, particularly if you have gas appliances, any of them can be a source of burns and fires. And it's really important to have really good habits around the kitchen. Just because it's important to me in the fires that I have seen recently, keeping anything off of a stove is a really good idea. There is no reason ever to store or place anything on a stove. Accidentally, one of the buttons or the dials gets hit, and all of a sudden you have something that seems to be very simple, but it is enough heat and fire to ignite the cabinetry or other things above it, and then you have a major fire. There is no reason ever to have anything sitting on the stove. Number two, any of your gas appliances, check them routinely. One of our neighbors has a gas-powered range, and somehow the propane got caught between the two surfaces in the range. And one day she turned it on in the same way she does every day, and it exploded. They fortunately didn't have a fire. Propane explosions are incredibly, incredibly dangerous. Propane inspections, for those of you who use propane for heating, for your cooking, and for other things, propane particularly dangerous, particularly important for you to check it. Smoke alarms and carbon monoxide alarms. We ask that you check those each year. Make sure that you have a good battery in them, meaning alkaline or higher batteries in your smoke detectors. And a really important topic for you to remember, carbon monoxide alarms and detectors. Those detectors have a life. Them constantly sniffing the air, trying to detect carbon monoxide, can only go on, and most carbon monoxide detectors have a lifespan of 5 to 7 years. They do not alarm, but in fact their performance is waning, and it's time for you to replace them 5 to 7 years. They're inexpensive. Some of them are built now in combination with smoke alarms, so you have to be wary and get the right detector for you. Carbon monoxide detectors belong in places where there's any form of ignition around, anything that can burn, or anything that could be running, like a car in the garage accidentally. It's a lot easier for us to leave our cars on in the modern day than it used to be. So, a carbon monoxide detector. Carbon monoxide typically rises a little bit. It's not much less dense than air. It'll rise a little bit, and so typically we put carbon monoxide detectors a little bit higher in the house. And we detect carbon monoxide, and we check and replace those detectors every 5 to 7 years. Smoke clearly rises in a house, and our smoke detectors high on the surfaces, particularly around your sleeping areas. And at night, your doors are closed. That's the best safety message on fire safety, is sleep with your doors closed. That gives you extra time should something occur in another part of the house. Smoke is rising and it's going up in the hallways, let's say around the bedrooms. And at that point, the smoke detector alerts you that something is going on. You put your hand on the door to feel for heat. And in some circumstances where you feel heat or you can see heavy smoke coming in around the door, it's time for you to go out through a window. A fire response plan in your house is really important. How do I get out from each room in the house, particularly from the sleeping rooms? And then where do we meet outside to know we're all out there? And we're not going back in the house to look for toys or valuables or anything else. We're outside at our collection point outside so that everybody knows we're safe. So, two really important events this month. Just a little timely news, vaccinations. This week, an important study said RSV vaccination is really good across all of the important time intervals for RSV. That's in infants and in the elder. We happen to be having an RSV outbreak in our part of Florida, and it's really important for our elders to get the vaccination for the disease RSV. Have a little COVID going on. There's some changing sets of guidance that are coming out now state by state, because the CDC has been put in a position where they're not going to make many statements. Many states are saying still COVID vaccination widely available. Check with your doctor and pharmacist and get it. We have a couple of measles outbreaks, including one right around me that is occurring. I was just alerted in the last hour. Measles outbreaks this time of the year not good, because we're just getting ready to do our indoor season in much of the country, and we don't want to see measles or other respiratory spread diseases going around. October, smoke and fire prevention, breast cancer prevention. Let's all stay safe. Let's enjoy the time while the trees are changing. It's a beautiful time of the year in many parts of the country. Enjoy it. Doc Talk mid-October. Thanks, everyone.